Welcome to HICGI News Agency.
HICGI News Agency Live. Welcome.
Agency, HICGI News Agency.
This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
News Agency Live.
We are live. HICGI News Agency. This is HICGI News Agency.
Welcome to the Senior Citizens Talk of HICGI News Agency. Today we are 500 kilometers west of Algiers, where we are with the Deputy Head of Mission for Uganda here in Algeria. Doctor, should I say Your Excellency?
There's an excellent before me, the Head of Mission. And there's always one excellent at a time.
Yes.
So I'm representing
You have so many titles. You can introduce yourself to all our viewers watching all over the world, from South Africa to Brazil and back here in Algeria, and of course Kampala, Uganda, where we are based.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm Ambassador Dr. Julius Joshua Kivuna, and as he has mentioned, I'm the Deputy Head of Mission at Uganda Embassy in Algiers. Thank you.
Let's begin by the relations between Uganda and Algeria, resulting into what we've just seen today, graduates, of course, supported by the Algerian government. How has this been achievable?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, the relations between Uganda and Algeria go back in history. We got independence the same year, right at nearly the same time.
Wow.
And in 1962. So both countries somehow have been Pan-Africanist, more so at this current time, where the president in Uganda, very Pan-Africanist, President Yoweri Museveni, and the president here, President Tebboune, very, very Pan-Africanist. And in their meetings, their collaboration, our president came up with the idea of Algeria supporting Uganda in the field of education, mainly the science sector. So through that approach, and he directed us as a mission to ensure that we solicit for scholarships from the Algerian government, which we've done successfully. So a number of students have been coming over. So it's from that very, very deep relation between the two countries that this is being made possible. That's why we now have graduates here who have benefited from these very good relations between the two countries.
In your opinion, are there specific statistics of the students who have gone through Algeria from Uganda?
The statistics definitely are there from the time we started. Could give them to you, but currently we have 327 students who are studying in different universities here in Algeria. It has been incremental. We began with a small number, but every other year, with the solicitation by the nation and government as at large, they've been increasing the number of students coming from Uganda to study here in Algeria. And we are hopeful that this increase will continue to grow as we go along.
Okay, some viewers who could be in Uganda may also want to know that if I would like to get the scholarship, what's the criteria of selecting the students to come?
The criteria is very simple and straightforward. When Algeria offers these scholarships, they are directly sent to the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education puts out an advert in the public gazette, in the newspapers, and people are encouraged, and they even advertise on radio. So students, those intending to study in Algeria with the different courses available, apply, and they are brought in for interviews. They sit for interviews, and the best are selected, and they are brought to Algeria for studies. It's very simple and straightforward, and very, very transparent.
Okay, that's good to know. And in your opinion, have you been tracking students after studying here, if they're observed by government or private sector, or they're working abroad? Do you hear from them?
That's an area which we need to improve upon. The tracking has been there, but not very well not very elaborate as such at this point in time. But we hope that's an area we hope to improve on, because I've known of some few who are working with now some new pharmaceuticals in Kampala, pharmaceutical companies. There's that company which is now doing a number of drugs there. Chief in the pharmacy area is from here. He studied here. But we need to improve that area. We've not really been tracking our students, which we shall do in conjunction with the Ministry of Education.
Okay. And what, apart from education, what else is Uganda benefiting from Algeria?
Uganda and Algeria, as I said, the relations are so good. The other area we are trying to emphasize is trade between the two countries. For the first time, Ugandan coffee is coming to Algeria. In fact, on the 16th of this coming month, we are receiving a batch of coffee, and milk is coming to Algeria. These are areas which also our president pushed, and we've pushed in his meetings with the his Algerian counterpart, and the ministers who have been coming from Algeria to visit Uganda on different matters. He raised this issue how we should open up, because you know about the African Continental Free Trade Area, where countries on the continent are supposed to trade tax-free, duty-free between each other. So we are building on that, and so far those two products are now entering the Algerian market, and we are busy advertising them all over the place, all over Algeria and in the Maghreb as a whole. So we are benefiting. Definitely, Algeria is also thinking of taking some products to Uganda, but they have not yet started. But at least for us, we've started, and it's growing. We shall invite you next time when we are receiving the milk, so that you can cover. But I've told you on the 16th and 17th of this month, we shall be receiving some batches of coffee. You can come and be part of us if you can manage.
I would be happy to be part of it. So apart from being patriotic about Africa, of course, I was trying to find out if there's a balance in opportunities under the equation. Is there anything that Algeria is also benefiting from Uganda directly or indirectly?
Okay, our relations now, like where they are benefiting directly from us, you know, we belong to the different international organizations. Both countries are at the African Union, both countries are at the UN. Like recently, we supported their country, their candidate at the African Union, who is now the deputy, you know, of that one, because our vote wasn't even, we campaigned for them. Wow. Even when it comes to the UN, and even on many issues, like there is, you know, about the Middle East, on many issues, like say the Israeli-Palestinian question, where we support the idea of the two-state solution, which Algeria also supports. So we always support them at that international level, and they also support us at that level. So they are benefiting in many ways, and we hope they'll also come in to trade and engage with the Ugandan market, where they can take their products there, because they have so many products here which I think would be cheaper than where we are getting them from right now. Like if you talk about olive oil, it's very cheap here. We import it, I don't know from where. It's very expensive in Uganda. True. Yet the cement here is a third the price of the cement in Uganda. A third. Many of their products, it's just that they are yet to look at the Ugandan market and exploit it. And we're encouraging them. With the African Continental Free Trade Area, they have a lot they can get from the Ugandan market, because it's open. And as you know, we are in the center that they can use us to supply that whole region with a number of products. We've mapped them out for them that these can work in Uganda as we also market ours here.
Recently, the world celebrated the International Refugee Day. Uganda has been ranked as one of the one of the countries with the biggest heart in hosting refugees in Uganda. It has opened up the Bidibidi refugee camp. It used to be one of the biggest refugee camp of the world at one time. We have another camp in Western Uganda and quite some others. Algeria also has been having refugees, I think, from Western
Sahara Arab Democratic Republic.
Yes. What do you have to say about that good heart?
Yeah, it is, you know, as I said, our camp, it originates from what the inculcation we've gotten from our presidents. Because right, like from our president, he believes that Africa is one place. In fact, he has encouraged us in so many meetings that it's wrong to say that these people are refugees. He says it's just a brother who has had a problem in their home and they've come to a cousin's home. In fact, he was telling that to refer to those we have in Uganda.
Yes.
And you are calling them. He said, no, never call them refugees. These are Africans having some problems in their homes. They come to another home for refugee. And I think it's the same problem here. Saharawi, as you know, has had a very difficult history, that it has ended up with so many refugees here living in mainly Tindouf area, and they are doing the same thing. So that Pan-African element, I think, which has been inculcated to us, the officials, from our leadership, is what makes that big heart come out. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Good to know. We would like to know, Doctor, who are you? For those ones who don't know your biography,
I don't know.
Global Logistics Limited, your #1 customs clearing and forwarding cargo consolidation warehouse company, We do air shipment, worldwide sea shipment, transportation, tax consultation. Lovey Logistics Limited is a competent company specializing in logistics, scaling and forwarding services. We have the necessary skills and resources and partnerships to tackle sizable projects to our clients' satisfaction. We are located at Mganziraza Plaza near the entrance of Katwe, Kampala, Uganda. Call us on +256 779 634 328 or +256 701 784 648 or visit our website glovylogistics.com or write to johnglovy@gmail.com. Glovy Logistics Limited, your #1 clearing and forwarding company.
Where to start from? Where it's my education. Mine is a long history as I come to the,
You
the
can
end of
inspire
service.
many when you share your
Yeah,
life.
I studied politics and international relations at Makerere,
Okay.
and when I finished, I joined a number of government, but finally ended up in other areas before I ended up in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I began from the first spot for a beginning graduate, which is third secretary.
Okay.
And I kept on moving slowly. But mid-career, I've always been in management. I've always headed departments. From the time I was a first secretary, I was in fact, I was the chief of protocol of the Uganda government between 2006 and 2008. And then I've served in a number of countries. I've served in Tokyo, Japan, where I was for 6.5 years.
6 years.
I've served in Germany and Berlin, where I was for 6 years. I've served in South Africa, where I was for 5.5 years. Then I've served here, and then in between, so many. I was talking about my education before I diverted. I did a number of diplomas. I have a diploma in Japanese language. I speak
So
Japanese.
Japanese.
I have a diploma in German language, though I'm forgetting it. You know, with the languages, you need practice, and those two languages are mainly spoken in those countries. So since I left, I no longer practice much. They are slowly fading. Then I did a diploma in management at Uganda Management Institute, and that's where I did my master's. I did management, but focusing on international relations, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and how we manage our affairs outside. And I did my PhD from the University of South Africa in Pretoria, where I majored mainly in decoloniality and international relations.
Okay.
That's my PhD. Then for work, yeah, I've been a deputy head of mission here. In other missions, I was a minister council of South Africa. So I've been mainly in management, but managing international relations.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a family. They say African men don't count children. So I don't know what else. My hobbies, I love reading a lot. I think that's why I went into this reading books a lot, and I follow sports a lot. I follow news definitely. In my career, it's a must. You must be knowing what is happening all over the world. Yeah. And back at the ministry, before I came here, I was heading Africa department, regional peace and security. But the region, in terms of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is the African continent. That's what they call. But I was heading regional peace and security. So I was mainly handling conflict, because if you know Eastern DRC, Somalia, Burundi, so many, that the ICGLR, as we call it, that Great Lakes region, it has a lot of conflict. In fact, Uganda is like a haven of peace within there. That's why we have a lot of refugees, like you are saying. So it's us who are trying to, joining others, definitely international community and other neighbors, trying to find peace. That's what I was handling mainly. That's how I ended up in Tindouf, where we were looking at Western Sahara. How can we help them? That's the vision of our president. Because, like it is said, unless you have peace, it's the basis of everything. Without peace, however good ideas, good development ideas you have, nothing will happen. It's first peace, then the rest can be built on that. That's why we should not take our peace in Uganda for granted. You know, we've had it for a very long time.
True.
That now we take it for granted.
Absolutely.
We should not play with it, minus it, because all these other countries, some have even better programs than ours, but they can do nothing. Look at Ethiopia. They had the challenges they've had before they were moving so fast in their development. Then when they got this Tigray conflict, it sort of stopped their development for some time. We are happy that they've managed to go past it and they are looking forward and moving on, like all countries. So maybe that's partly about me. I've been into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for now many years, and international relations as it's like what I do every day, dream, sleep, do on a daily basis.
Oh, wow. As we get to finish, when you talk about some of these regional conflicts, let's look at Congo. Congo has suffered for so long, and apparently I think United States is trying to intervene for them to sign a deal between Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo. What exactly is the Congo question?
The Congo question is a bit historical. For some reasons, right from independence, you know, from Lumumba assassination, and then because all countries were colonized. It's not only Congo, it's not only Uganda. India was colonized. All these Asian tigers, they were colonies. But they passed beyond that history and moved on. Now for Congo, they've failed. What our president always harps on, and people take it for that he's maybe saying, they don't take what he's saying serious. They said, once you don't concentrate on politics of interest and go to politics of identity, that has been Congo's problem. Politics of identity. Because you can see the Banyamulenge, a history who are being called Tutsi Rwandese. But these are people who migrated to that place long ago. Long ago. Now you are telling them you are not Congolese because of their identity. That they've been at the politics of identity for a very long time. That until they move beyond that, first, these borders we have, we don't like them. They were done in 1884 in Berlin. We went there. But they agreed in 1963 at the Organization of African Unity Meeting, OAU, 1963. The founding fathers were there. Among the things they agreed that, okay, for starters, let's accept the borders as they are with the people inside there. Because if we each start claiming, then those countries which want to unite will, but accept the people inside these borders as your nationals. That should be the beginning. Congo, if they looked at this and they sat on a negotiating table, like our president says that for the first, it should be the Congolese themselves. They should have dialogue within themselves and accept each other. Have a minimum program as Congolese. Then the next people who should be concerned, whom they should consult are the neighbors. Because as you say, we are having refugees from Congo as Uganda. And indeed it's good that President Tshisekedi, through his conversations with our president, allowed our forces to go and help. Because our people are also running their ADF. So with the immediate neighbors, they should put us into the conversation.
For more than 10 years, Keb International Group has been your #1 partner in tours and travel consultancy. We also do real estate, legal services, ICT services, and much more. Find us on kebinternationalgroup.com or write to us at info@kebinternationalgroup.com. You may also write to us at PO Box 35827 Kampala, Uganda, or visit us on Namaswahi off Entebbe Highway. Call us on +256 200937566 or +256 39486 32 or 46. Or you can send us a plus on WhatsApp on +256 752 1375 66. Keb International Group, your #1 rail business partner.
Then the other people can come in because America is trying this, but how far is America from Congo?
Very big.
We understand Congo much better than America. Yes. That among the solutions our president was suggesting for them, when there was this East African force, because Congo is within the ESC, the East African force, it had come, let it be in between and allow, give an enabling environment for the Congolese to have a discussion, because that's the solution. That's the solution. When they talk to each other and accept some basic minimums and they move forward. Otherwise, they will continue. They will move in circles because they are bringing in people who don't understand what their problem is. Because they are looking at this because they are thinking resources. It's not only Congo with the resources. There are countries with the resources. I know it has played a role, but it's not the main. The main is the politics. If they manage the politics and they can work together, they can talk to each other, agree to disagree, but not through fighting. Because the M23, they were talking about being integrated in the army and within the system, but this failed. This failed. If you remember, right from 2013, I was there in some of the meetings, so I know what I'm talking about. 2013, I was heading the East African Community Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I've met Sultan Makanga and the others in some meetings, the negotiations, but our president has been encouraging, let there be dialogue. Have an environment where you can talk to each other. We can fly, go to America, go where the problem is there. In Congo, in our neighbor, and it's the Congolese first. That's what our president calls the Trinity of Peace. It's first, those owning the problem, the neighbors, then the outsiders can come in to help. Because they don't understand the problem.
I see.
Those near it understand it. Definitely, those with it understand it best. So if they talk to each other frankly, because nobody is talking about Congo breaking up. No. It's about how they can live together as one people, as a Congolese people, as Africans. That's what is at stake. That's what it has to do. So it's a long story because it's a long history. Because there, I was in one meeting where they talk of so many militias in Congo. I came to understand something I'd never thought about. It was President Tshisekedi. We were at the AU, a side meeting. I hope I'm allowed to say this because these are closed meetings. But President Tshisekedi, when he was accused, it was raised by one of the presidents that now all those other militias, he said there's a difference. Those other militias, he said they acknowledge their history, that they've not been able to set up a formidable army as yet. He said, so villages come together, villagers. Some are setting up these militias to protect themselves, to protect their resources they might be having. He said, but these are not going after power in Kinshasa. They are in fact not a problem to government. So they just have a challenge because we don't have forces there to keep them. So they arrange them. So he said, we don't have problems with those militias you are talking about. The ones we have problems are these M23 who want to come and capture power. That M23 was saying, no, we don't want to capture power. We set why they call themselves M23. It's from that meeting where they said what was agreed, but was never done. It's on the 23rd of March. That's why it's M23. You can research. There's what was agreed during that meeting. And they are saying it was not put into place. Congolese government renegated on it. But as the neighbors were saying, negotiate. Talk about it, don't fight. And we are ready to help you. That's the little I can say about Congo because it's very big. Wow. What the Americans are doing now, I don't know how far they will go. But we hope, if it works, we can come in and help.
Wow. I was in South Sudan recently and I had an opportunity to interact with some military officers. You would read from their eyes that they are grateful for Uganda for saving them. Actually, if it wasn't Uganda, probably the country would be in total chaos. Do you agree that Uganda has been a sustainer of peace in South Sudan?
Maybe what I will say at my level is that Uganda as a neighbor, Uganda as a Pan-African country, as a country believing in regional integration, South Sudan is our immediate neighbor. We are like Siamese twins. You are conjoined and you have no choice. So what affects them affects us. So many a number of times from my point, where I sit, yes, we've seen how Uganda goes in to help, but it does this with the after following all the international rules and what with the government in South Sudan. Yes, I think we've been a point of stability for them, because if they are unstable, it definitely affects us directly. It's in our own interest. So we've been there. We are hoping. We know they have a challenge, also a challenge within the politics, but we hope they'll overcome it with our support and support of all the others, the international community, so that they have a peaceful country. Because as you know, they had become one of our biggest trading partners. So when they are peaceful, we benefit. So we are interested in their peace, and for this we don't need to be ashamed. We have to be very upfront and straightforward. This is our immediate neighborhood.
The power of memories has never been so meaningful than when time passes by. It's only in photography and videography that we can be able to tell what exactly happened in our lives. Do not lose the beautiful events of your life, from graduation to birthday parties, introduction ceremonies, parties that matter, wedding. All this and much more can be brought down into memories of photography and videography. At KEB International Group, we understand what it means to keep these memories. We are inviting you today to contact us for the best rates in town for your photography and videography events. +256 702 13 75 66 or +256 773 13 75 66. We will cover and reach you at any time, any part of the world. No matter the time, we are here to keep your memories alive. Keep videography and photography your number one events memories.
If it collapses, we might collapse with them. It would they can, I mean, the populations can, the numbers of refugees can overwhelm us.
Absolutely.
They can overwhelm us. We are not a very rich country. That if we can forestall that, and there's peace there, and we do trade, we are interested in them very stable, because we benefit and they benefit. So with South Sudan, we help them and they help us. Yes, I've been there. I told you I was heading that department. We have border issues, but like we tell them, like we discuss also internally your problems. Because if you've followed, many a time the neighbors from Sudan claim Uganda has taken our territory. But we say, fortunately, we have the colonial maps, we have those coordinates. So, and these days with technology, it's very simple. When they see 23 degrees south, and you can just put even on your phone and it will take you to the point.
Yes.
So this is very simple to solve. There should be no fighting about it. But about the internal problems, I think our government tries to help as much as it can to avoid a dangerous situation in that country, which can directly affect us.
And for Somalia, will they have an enduring peace if troops from countries like Uganda and African Union stop deploying?
Once again, from a point of vantage, because in my other former job, when I was heading that region, Africa, I was so frequent at the African Union, and among them, you know how that from AMISOM to ATMIS, now to the new one since I left, I don't know, because it was winding up. In fact, recently there was a troop contributing countries meeting in Uganda.
Yeah.
But if I could share with you, which was public, I mean, it's there and it was at the UN floor. The biggest problem we are having as Africans, first, as African Union, if I may call ourselves so, as Africa, the funding for the troops is a challenge. So we've been arguing, in fact, calling for the UN. You know, there's a system under the UN where if the funding would be done by the UN to our troops. So now it's countries which come up, mainly Western European countries, they've been picking the bills for the troop contributing countries. But we are saying, no, let this be part of the UN arrangement, because UN has this facility where if they are, because, by the way, all those troops are there after agreements, even at to the UN level.
Oh.
So we are saying UN fund, because when the UN funds, they will not, if a person is just helping out, like it's happening now. Until when I was there, I don't know now. I've been away for nearly over 6 months. I don't know if anything changed. But before, Artemis troops, whose time was coming to an end, it was that year. I think there are Norway, there are a number of European countries which put money in a kitty, but sometimes they delay. Sometimes they have their own issues. Yet when it becomes UN, it becomes automatic. That money will be sent directly. That at times you've heard of delayed troops to receive their salaries. Yet it is agreed we still need troops in Somalia, because that unstable Somalia can affect Uganda. We've been victims before. So we had
bombings one time.
Bombings, we've had them, and we have a huge Somali community because of our Pan-African open approach of so we can be directly affected. We've already been. So we say the troops are still needed, but their funding need to be agreed, so that is from the UN and the Somali government to build their army. That has been a challenge. Our president has raised it on a number of occasions. He has given examples that this massive, now very formidable force we have in Uganda, the UPDF, said he began with a few individuals whom he took to Mozambique. Ivan Koreta and others. I think Koreta, they are still two alive himself. He said he went, took those guys, trained, brought them. Later, that was the core which formed Fronasa. Later, all this has galvanized around those where some few trained and they pass on information. And that's what he wanted to do with Somalia. We've trained, but unfortunately a good number who go back, they fizzle back into Al-Shabaab and what they've failed. He has ever asked at that time the Prime Minister of Ethiopia that maybe might be near and what, because he said until they have a formidable force of their own, they will not have peace. A force which can occupy the whole country, stabilize it. Then all these clan elections of theirs, they vote along clans.
Oh, welcome. My name is Omuka Francis from JHL Productions Uganda Limited, the makers of the iced espresso, ready to drink coffee. This is purely a Ugandan coffee, starting from the seeds to the packaging to the production, all Ugandan products. Well, at the moment we have it in two. One that is sweet having sugar in it, cane sugar. That's why we call it the sweet original. The second is the original without sugar. This coffee has no additives, no preservatives, and has a shelf life of up to 18 months. We pack it in cartons of 12, having 12 sachets inside the box. The same for the sweet one, the 12 inside the box. So our coffee is purely Ugandan. Serving it, you can have it both cold or hot. You can have your coffee the way you want it. For this time, let me make a demo of the hot coffee. I'll take the sweet original, pour it in a cup. It's purely coffee and expressed coffee. Add hot water. And there you go. Your coffee is ready for serving. This coffee can be got at any of the supermarkets around the Mega. We have it at Platia, that's at Kololo. We also have it at Legume, that's after the American Embassy in Zambia. You can get our coffee there. It's purely Ugandan product. It's ready to drink, no additives, no preservatives, and it has a shelf life of up to 18 months. You can get it both in the one with sweet, that is the sweet, and the original, having sugar, no sugar. So meaning you all got the coffee you need. We have a sales number. In case you want to get in touch with us, call this number 0766 530-248. We'll be able to receive your calls. It's both on WhatsApp. We shall be able to serve you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's the Hawir, the biggest clan. This one must produce the president, the other clan, the prime minister. He said all of that will, if you have a formidable force, security, then you'll have peace. Then all the other things will be built on to that. So Somalia, there's still time because the formidable force to keep Somalia by the Somalis is not yet there. So the troop contributing countries must continue contributing troops, but we must address the funding.
Wow. It's been a pleasure talking to
Thank
you, Your
you so
Excellency.
much.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close?
Just to take opportunity to thank you so much for coming over all the way from Uganda to help us put out what we are doing out here. You saw the graduation of our students.
It's been colorful.
Very colorful, very enjoyable, and a real sign about relations between two countries, Pan-African countries, where we are trying to get skills from here to take back home. So for us as a mission, this is a big not even an output, an outcome, because now we have skilled people and they are all arising from the relations, good relations, very, very good relations between the two countries. So we thank you so much.
We also appreciate the Ugandan Embassy for supporting us. This gentleman has been accommodating us, feeding, accommodation. Thank you, Ugandan Embassy, and of course the Algerian government, which also funded this trip to come. Would you say something, sir, as we close or so?
I just appreciate for their coming and the coverage you have taken to our graduates, and we really appreciate the government of Algeria for the support they are giving to the government of Uganda. So grateful. Thank you.
Until next time, my name is Chivombi Anes Benjamin, Doctor, and on the cameras in Princess Scovia, Chivombi.
The Senior Citizens Talk is brought to you by Africa at Heart, Heal the Planet Global Organization, HICGI News Agency. Subscribe right now to get our latest updates sent you every single Sunday. Don't forget also the Talk to the World show that is running every Thursday at 4 p.m. Subscribe here on YouTube and make a notification bell right here. HICGI News Agency. Visit us on hicginewsagency.com and find us on all social media platforms, on X, call it Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram and Facebook. HICGI News Agency. Subscribe now.